Toy company, the Character Group, which holds the license to reproduce toys from well-known programs such as Peppa Pig, Fireman Sam and Scooby-Doo, has issued a trading statement which shows that total sales to date are up 6% year on year, and it remains on target to meet forecasts. Joint MDs Kiran, Shah and John Diver join us now. Kiran, if I can start with you with these numbers, this 6% rise, that looks to me to be on target from what the company was expecting. You satisfied the way things are going?
Yes, very much so, yes. The 6% increase in sales over the Christmas period is on target. The target for the whole year ended August 16, is 10%, and we're bang on line to achieve that.
Okay, in terms of some of the moves that the company's making, there's a lot of new brands. If we can just take a quick view, a wide shot of what we've got here. I mean, we've got, for example, Scooby-Doo and Peppa Pig. Also, Teletubbies here. John, this is a new thing for the Character Group, isn't it, Teletubbies? What is this going to bring to the numbers?
At the moment, we've been very conservative with our approach for Teletubbies. We are just launching now. The figures are very exciting. Early sales are very encouraging. We're going to learn a lot in terms of how big and the potential size this concept will achieve over the next coming months. But early signs are very, very good.
In terms of the numbers, again, going back to this, I mean, you've had, I think, Fireman Sam around, what, 20 years or so forth, haven't you? Do these older products, these Fireman Sam and Scooby-Doo that's been around a long while, do they tend to fade away? I mean, you're bringing on these new products. In terms of the numbers themselves and expectations for Teletubbies, do you see Teletubbies, for example, this year dominating sales?
They're classic brands, and in reality, about 80% of our business we achieve off 10 brands. Peppa Pig being our biggest brand, Scooby-Doo, Fireman Sam have all been in our portfolio for many, many years, and we believe they will continue. One of our kind of unique selling points of our company is that we develop within these brands every year. So Toy Fair opens on Sunday, and we'll be presenting our new product for Peppa Pig and Scooby-Doo and Fireman Sam, amongst a few other brands, but we'll be launching the new product on display on Sunday. And then on top of that, we have the likes of Teletubbies, new fresh concepts, new animation, BBC scheduling, and as I said, we'll be launching the whole range of Teletubbies at Toy Fair on Sunday.
Yeah. Whereabouts are these retailed, Kiran? I mean, we obviously got some very well-known names here. Do you have full high street coverage?
Yes, we have full. We supply all the major retailers as well as the high street stores, the pure toy shops. So Argos, Tesco, Toys R Us, Smith's Toys, we're in there, as well as the Mamas and Papas stores.
You've mentioned there some well-known stores in the high street in this country. What about sales outside of the UK?
About 20% of our turnover is exports, and that is growing. We expect to do some big numbers in the States this year. So overall, we should see an increase in our international sales.
What's good in the States? I mean, I don't know whether, does Teletubbies hit off in the States?
Teletubbies is being launched in America this April, and we'll be shipping to retail from hopefully August, September onwards.
Do you have an indication yet as to how good these are? I mean,
again, it's early days, and we're trying to keep the expectations low. We're trying to grow sensibly and not ship too much in too soon. On top of Teletubbies in America, we are supplying some products from Peppa Pig and Scooby-Doo, Doctor Who, and a couple of novelty items as well.
Are you able to easily cope with the potential demand for some of these? I mean, if Teletubbies does hit off, as indeed, of course, it did in this country. I remember when my kids were very young, all of a sudden it became this massive, great big machine almost. Sure. Are you able to produce at short notice?
Good question. And we've kind of, the strategy of choosing the factories and producing the product that we've developed is on that basis, and we're working with potentially 4 to 5 different factories on Teletubbies to allow, if it does snowball, to allow us to be able to supply demand.
Whereabouts are those factories?
In China.
Right. That's an interesting point, actually, Kiran, because in China we've got, well, there's 2 issues. First of all, the well-known that we've got at the moment in the markets about China. But that aside, there's a currency issue here as well, isn't there, for the balance sheet? What do you, and the profit and loss account, what about, how do you deal with that differential?
We buy in US dollars, so per se the Chinese currency doesn't really directly affect us. But of course, all the factories sort of have all their accounting and the payments done in the Chinese currency. Yes, the Chinese currency is depreciating. We do believe we'll see some sort of a cost decrease in there. But on the other hand, sort of labor costs are sort of going up, and basically we expect sort of our cost to remain about the same for the year.
What about the low price of oil? How is that impacting? Because this has two knock-on effects. Obviously, if you're in that industry, it's a bad indicator. But if you're a user of oil as a base cost, presumably that's going to be beneficial, is it?
Yes, the low price of oil should benefit us because all the products are shipped from Far East to the UK, so freight costs should come down on there. But on the other hand, the sterling is sort of weak against the dollar at the moment, so we will probably sort of see an increase in the cost there. So overall, when we do look at our forecast, we believe our costs overall are not going to increase, and therefore our margin should be steady.
Yeah, John, you mentioned the Toy Fair Olympia. How big an event is this for you to get these products out there and get your name more well associated with, let's say, the Teletubbies this year?
We actually don't need to actually promote our name or promote our product. Our customers have seen our product many months prior to that. It's a great flag waving exercise. We meet senior management from all the top retail companies, and we can promote our business within those companies at the top level, and it's a great opportunity to see our range in its full glory and allow our customers to see.
So you don't actually get many sales as such from there. It's just a question.
We get some sales, but it's more about placement and forward planning for the autumn winter, and allow senior management senior management within the retail sector to see our line and plan accordingly as well. And if the excitement from those people seeing our product gives us more space, more promotional opportunities, then our turnover will increase. Yeah.
You mentioned this year. I mean, this year potentially we could have a vote for us here in the UK on our membership of the European Union. If it's not this year, we're told it's by 2017. If this time tomorrow we were out of the European Union, would it make a difference to the character group?
We don't believe it will. We do sell to Europe, but it's done directly from our Far Eastern subsidiary to Europe, and it's all dollar-based. So basically, whether Britain is in Europe or out, it's not going to make difference to any of our sales from the Far East.
Right. Okay, that's an interesting point. Just talking about the way the year is going to unfold then from now, when will the investor know how successful Teletubbies has been, John, this launch?
I think by the time we announce our half year in April, we'll have a good feel, particularly in the UK, on how big the opportunity is on Teletubbies. On an international basis, that will take longer. We're only launching Teletubbies in about 6 to 7 countries this year. The rollout with dubbing of the episodes for other countries takes time, and 17 will be the true opportunity of Teletubbies as we'll be supplying more and more countries. We're going to get a good feel though within the next 2 months with the UK sector on how big the opportunity is.
There is a global slowdown underway, there's no doubt about that. We know that. Does this sort of thing impact the toy industry at all?
I don't think it's a global slowdown in toys. I think actually toys is increasing, and sure. Our market share in toys is very small, so therefore the opportunity is great. If we have good products and good brands, our market share can increase in a growing market. And certainly at the moment, toys is a growing market.
Yeah, okay. Kiran, if I can, just for one last comment about the numbers for this year, just remind us, what are you targeting in terms of profit and the numbers?
The market expectation out there is a pre-tax profit of 12.5 million on that, and we're sort of comfortable with the number on there. Basically, we have got sort of the 6% growth that I talked about is on target. We should achieve the 10% increase in turnover on that, and currently we're sort of pretty optimistic about our financial year end.
Shares are £5 at the moment. That means with the market cap of about 105 million, whatever it is, there's not that many shares out there. You've been doing a lot of share buybacks. Why are you doing this? What is it that's attracting you to that particular use of cash?
We've been buying back shares for the past 10 years or so. We've spent in excess of £40 million buying back, I would probably say, something like 60% of the share capital. We've got a very small capex requirement, so after sort of making a profit and paying tax and dividends, we end up with a fair bit of cash flow on there. We looked at it and said, what's the best use of that? We decided sort of share buyback is the best use, and hence sort of a share buyback program.
Your PE ratio is about 10. Happy with that?
P ratio is 10. Basically, the price target out there is another sort of 20-25% higher on there, but we're performing well as well. Yeah. So we're certainly hoping that P ratio would be a little bit higher come sort of next year.
Well, look, we wish you well, and thanks indeed for bringing all these friends along with you. Teletubbies, Scooby-Doo, Fireman Sam, John Diver and Kiran Shah, thank you very much indeed. That is the character group just ahead of its rollout of Teletubbies at the Olympia Toy Fair.